like with the memes, it's like this point of recognition, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's making memes so accessible for like to put like this theory in. And that's why I thought it was also funny to then like kind of translate it like this theory and to see like what are the points of recognition, you know? Are people like recognizing these points in the theory? Is the theory actually coming across?
Welcome to the first music show, Void Music Show. Today our guest is Annebel Breij, and stick around because later we're gonna have a little chat. Enjoy.
This is Future Dub for the liberation of the people of West Papua. Coming to you in front of Lekrek Naluvale, Uganda.
coming in strong, it's coming in strong, DJ Lambrella. El coming in strong, it's coming in strong, DJ Lambrella. El coming in strong, it's coming in strong, DJ Lambrella. El coming in strong, it's coming in strong, DJ Lambrella. El coming in strong, it's coming in strong, DJ Lambrella.
in this bitch. Ik weet dat je deze track hard vond. Ik weet het. Doe niet alsof. Doe niet alsof. Doe niet alsof.
It was so nice. I really wanted to go to the club now.
Yeah. Just like, what day is it? Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday
very
afternoon.
soon. Well, thank you for this beautiful set. I don't know anything about you, so actually I did research into what you sent the proposal.
Yeah.
But I'll pretend still that I don't know anything about your practice because I want you to tell me what you do.
Yeah.
So if we can start with that, actually, if you can tell us a bit about your practice. And I also know that you're a researcher, a meme researcher.
Yeah.
To be more specific. And I'm really curious to know, because for me, these are like two different disciplines that you do and you're combining kind of. And I'm just thinking, are they working in parallel to each other? Are they perpendicular? Or which came first? You know, like, was it music? Was it research? Or are they intertwined? Or like, how does it work in your division in your practice?
I think it's kind of intertwined. Like, research came first, but not meme research.
Yeah.
But research came first, definitely. And also just like a bit the vision behind it and the motivation behind it, that really came first. And then music came kind of along the way, like first just like by going to nightclubs, I would say, and then just getting an interest in the music. Also kind of going to nightclubs to escape the research maybe, but so
that's very parallel.
That's very parallel.
How would you call this? Like, it's not, it's like again, like bouncing against.
Yeah, bouncing against each other.
But like plus and, minus and, no, that's plus. Plus and minus.
Yeah.
Repulsive or like
yeah. Repulsive. Exactly. Then
I like that relationship.
Yeah. Then it wasn't merging at all. And then now, I was really trying to actually. I really wanted to also bring like clubbing and music into my research with memes and see if like these online spaces, in terms of curation and in terms of music, would have like an overlap between, like, for example, how these meme pages are curated. But I'm not quite there yet. So I don't know if I actually want to merge them or if I want to keep them separated. It's like kind of a work in progress now. Because I do see like some overlaps, but I also don't want to merge it just for the sake of merging.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not necessary.
Yeah. I think it's like two different practices, but it kind of overlaps in like weird ways that you sometimes don't expect. So for example, what I really like about meme research is that it's like this very common thing where you can have these very like humorous but also kind of scary things that and subcultures that you're like diving into, that's especially like these political memes. I really like studying political memes, especially on the left, because I feel they're not researched enough. There's a lot of attention going to like this right-wing extremism online, but like the left is like something that's really growing right now online. So that's what I like to focus on. And in terms of music, I think in the political parts, both have an overlap in ways that I think the meme groups I like to research and the club culture I like to be in, like they can have some overlap in like this progressive, like more leftist view, which I really like. And but also with memes and randomness, for example, with like music samples, like they really make me think of memes sometimes, because you have like this little sample copied and it just like spreads from song to song. And like I sometimes have samples that I heard like in 4 different songs in my playlist, you know, it's the same sample that's used and used over and over again and just like spreading like wildfire. So I see quite some overlap, and also just like in terms of the sound, just like this right now in the set, I really try to like make this a bit like glitchy random sound, which like is kind of how I feel sometimes when I'm on the internet or when I'm like in these meme groups. It goes from like point to point, everything goes so fast, but you're kind of driving into it, which I really like.
Yeah. And I'm also curious, so How did you start with being interested in memes, and how did that lead you to critical theory that you later discovered, also like the books that you read?
I think my interest in memes really started because I really like memes. And also I was doing some work for some activist groups, and actually memes were also used there to just like spread some really basic messaging of like for example facts about the fossil industry that like were quite shocking but not a lot of people knew. We would just like turn them into memes so they would like spread really fast. So then I was like, oh, that's actually interesting. And once I was in there, I actually also kind of learned some things that I didn't know about, for example, politics through memes. So, and I was like, damn, like I was in university, but I learned like some really basic things through memes, which is very interesting. But then seeing those groups, I also saw how like kind of the other side of it, like how it could also spread like very random weird facts that were just like so out of context, and then people like completely jumping into it and like considering them as like the ultimate truth right now, which I really saw in like these groups as well, which was like, oh yeah, it's interesting. Like it really has its positive sides on like, for example, spreading theory, but also negative sides. I would
like,
say
for me, like for example, I'm not I don't have a meme memory.
I'm
not like a meme expert. I do like memes like from the user experience perspective, but I often feel like just because I saw, it's kind of like the ultimate existence of a theory as well, that I'm like, okay, now I know enough through the memes, and I'm not going to dive into it, so it's very interesting for me to also like your approach, that you actually through memes got interested in critical theory, and that you also combine it with music, and what you say also about the certain samples, that it comes in like as a glitch, and then it travels from one soundtrack to another.
Exactly. And also with memes, I actually saw a meme about this, what was like people that learned theory through memes, and then they had like this, I don't know, it's really hard to explain memes like on a microphone, but then they had like this picture of like a bookshelf, but then it was turned and it was like only this carbon like paper of a bookshelf. And I feel like that is often the case with like these memes. You get like the shell of it, but you don't really get deep into it. So you will just go to like from complex theory to complex theory, not really knowing like a lot about it. So you're really then dependent on like what someone behind this page is curating, and often you don't know what this person is like, what this person is, and also especially there are a lot of young people on these pages as well, that if I was 16 and I would see these pages, like I have no idea what I would think, because you can't really understand it, but you really want to go into it, So I think that's super interesting. That's
such a good reference, like to see this page in the bookshelf. I think it's a beautiful illustration of how they travel through internet and through interfaces as well. But I'm also curious, how do you see that in like you're making music, and when you say about these samples, like how do they travel from one, like they also, it sounds like they randomly appear or like are passed on. And then I'm curious, do you need to know also the author behind the samples, or like who made certain samples, or is it for you more like accumulating and then kind of like having your own voice through this mash?
I think it really depends like on what you want to send out, but I think that's maybe also like a kind of a common thing with like memes and music, is that like authorship is kind of a hard thing sometimes in it, because like especially producers, they don't get a lot of credit for like the songs they make, and then DJs will just like play them, but they don't really get a lot paid for it usually. It's also just like spread around on like these file sharing websites, and they won't get any money on it. So these samples often become like kind of anonymous, and sometimes you really don't know where they're coming from. But for example, I think like especially there are some artists that really also experiment with like this spoken word and also with activism actually in these samples. So for example, the first song I played is from this indigenous group in Uganda, and they mix like spoken words together with electronic music also as a way to spread their activism. with those kind of things, I do think it's really important to like kind of know who the people are behind it, and also that you credit them and that they get paid. But especially with like really old samples, sometimes they also just like memes become kind of a joke. You will just like throw this sample and just because it's like funny and people recognize it and it can really get people energized. I think it's very similar with memes as well. Like you can either spread like quite important messaging for you or for your community in it, but you can also use it really like as a joke just to get like people laughing. Just like the versatility, I think is there's an overlap in there.
But I'm also like, do you see memes? I keep bringing it back to memes compared to samples. But do you see them more like similar in the format or as a tool for translating? Because you also use like as a researcher, you use memes to translate certain critical theory as well. So I'm also wondering if like music sound samples can have the same function, that it translates perhaps like the language of music, or I don't know.
Like with the memes, it's like this point of recognition, I would say. And I think that's what's making memes so accessible for like to put like this theory in. And that's why I thought it was also funny to then like kind of translate it like this theory and to see like what are the points of recognition, are people like recognizing these points in the theory? Is the theory actually coming across? And if it whether it's like pulling them towards his theory or like more so creating a distance. And I think like with these samples it can have like this pulling effect of like maybe people won't necessarily be familiar with like the genre of a specific song and like need some time to get into it, but like a sample can be this point of recognition where they're like, okay, let me try this song and maybe then discover like new things that they didn't know before.
No, but that's so interesting also, like as a user who experiences memes and as a listener of good music, I hope that's really like resonates, like this point of recognition, because I also do most of the times appreciate the music that I have certain familiarity with,
it takes time to like get into something, like whether that's theory or music. Like if you have like something new, it takes a bit of time, and like exactly, if you have something that makes you feel familiar with it, it might be more easy to actually come into it in the first place. But what about genres? It's been so long that I've been following genres, still cannot point out a genre, especially really like since the rise of electronic music. I really also kind of like went into deliberate resistance to understand certain genres. That's for me. I don't know like how it is for you, or if you define your practice under a certain, if there's an umbrella genre that you work under. But it's always better for like marketing reasons, I would say, but I don't think I'm quite there yet at a point that I really need to define it. So I also have no idea what I'm playing usually. Like, well, I know like if it's like a break or like a bit housey, but then I remember one time I was playing somewhere and then the guy was like, okay, you need to play like house, happy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And then I did that, I thought.
And it was not house.
And it was not house. And it was also not happy. It was more like electro, kind of sad. Like in the middle of like these palm trees. Like they had this decoration with like all these flowers and these palm trees. And I was like, oh no.
It's such a big challenge to ask somebody to play happy music, because happiness is also personally defined.
Exactly. Like I thought it was like happy. But so I think also with these genres, I think it's like sometimes... like you can try to label it, but it's also just like a collection of sounds that like resonate with a feeling, I would say. And like to really label that can be very hard, like especially if you like going in multiple directions. Like what I just played, I think you could call it like a bit tribal mixed with electro and house, but that's how I would call it. Like other people would maybe call it techno. I don't know.
I would call it electronic music.
That's the best.
Love electronic music.
Always right. That's always.
It's safe. It's safe.
That's safe. Play electronic music. I will remember that.
But what about, I mean, you do sometimes use genres
Mm-hmm.
for specific contexts, I guess, or like for certain gigs, but you don't identify your practice under one. Do you think that in the future it might be easier somehow, say that manifest a certain electronic genre or like music genre?
I think so, but I think it's also nice to be like defined as like undefinable.
Yeah,
a
I
bit.
totally agree.
So I really like it when it like goes a bit in all directions. Because that's what really gives like this kick of energy, I would say, and really keeps you like with the music. But that really depends on people. Like some people really like it to have only techno played, for example, like only one kind of beat and then some differences in noises, and like that's great. But for me, that's not really where the energy comes from. Maybe also because I like memes. I like just like fast things, like fast and changing fast.
When you're playing music, do you have memes like shuffling in your head, or how does it work? Or is it more like the samples or the translated format of memes, or like do you think about
I don't really think about memes when making music, I think. Well, sometimes I'm scrolling on my phone, but then I will forget about the music, and then it's like, oh shit. It's now really separated, I think. Yeah, no, memes and memes I usually have like when I'm just like scrolling on my phone, and then I'm like consuming them. But they also go like, I think the fastness of it is also what I like in it, and like kind of the funniness of it sometimes, and it being unpredictable in some way. So that's what I always also like with music, that sometimes you will be like, you know, oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's super cool. And like some people hate that, but some people love it, you know? And like, I think if you can make a few people happy with it, that's already nice.
Yeah.
So
which platforms do you rely on to find the memes?
Reddit is a really good one.
Yeah.
Because you even have like this page, if you want to, for anyone who wants to research left-wing internet memes, you have this Reddit page. I have to find it somewhere, but it literally has like almost all left-wing platforms on Reddit categorized under like all the different, I think there are like 1,000 Reddit subreddits on that page, and it's just like all categorized like into, for example, communism, anarchism memes, like all these things, and then just like separated with that. If you want to do research on it, it's really nice because you can just like click, which is also kind of bizarre that you're then just like clicking like the kind of ideology you want, which feels super weird. It's like, okay, communism this time for research, you know, and then you click and you come in this completely different world, which is kind of bizarre. And I think Instagram for like, especially for more local stuff. Do
you have like any specific accounts from Instagram that you can rap out?
What I used, well,
because you also have like your own, right?
I don't have I had like kind of a meme Instagram, but it was more to like post the memes that were the translation of the book. Also the name was ridiculous, so I don't even know it anymore. But I think the page that I researched the most, I think, is like, it's not exactly a meme page, but it's like Joshua Citarella. He's like this researcher. Like I really love his research, and also he would repost like some memes of this page, the memeing of Mark Fisher, which is like hilarious. It's just like these meme moments in like pop history, but then with like capitalist realism photoshopped on it, you know, like the picture of Paris Hilton reading the book, but then with like capitalist realism like photoshopped on it, and like the whole page is gold. But I think Joshua Citarella, I got a lot of inspiration from, and just like the platforms connected to it. You have a lot of different anti-capitalist pages. Like you have like this really like hard, especially like the ones with like small followers, like those are really hardcore. Like that, I'm sometimes also like, oh, these kids, what are they talking about, you know? Like I don't even know. And it gets like really intense, but I think it's very interesting to then like kind of delve yourself into it and see what's happening there, like, and kind of try to stand in the middle of it and like trying to look at it objectively.
Yeah, trying.
I would say. But you always get like a bit sucked into certain emotions when like looking at really radical stuff, I would say. Whether it's like shock or like, it's like different things, but that's what keeps it interesting as well. Yeah. And I think like the fact that it's online makes you kind of a little bit distant from it, because it's not happening right here and right now. But of course, if you see the consequences, like not necessarily on the left, but especially with like these extreme right-wing pages, then you do see where it's like the possibilities where it can lead to, kind of. And I don't know if that's going to be the case on the left. I don't think so. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, I think it's kind of always good to keep that in mind when looking at like really radical stuff.
This is also what I'm curious about in terms of sound as well. Like if you use certain samples, can there be certain consequences to using certain samples? You know?
I think so. I think so, definitely. Like I do kind of watch that like for some samples I use it kind of with care. Yeah. Kind of like, for example, with the indigenous resistance group with that song, I'm not gonna play like twerk music over it because it would feel like disrespectful, because they're spreading their activism, you know, and their stories about, you know, their culture, and like using music to spread this message. And I don't want this mixed with like I don't know, an ass and titty songs, because it would just like feel disrespectful, you know? Yeah. And then like with, sometimes I will listen to like some samples. I think sometimes if it's like very cruel or something, like the slutty ones I don't care about. I think they're really fun. Yeah. But like if it's like really cruel, like you have some samples that are kind of like sounding violence. Sometimes I had this one song that I really liked, but it had like this crying woman over it, like about like, and it sounded like it was about an abusive relationship or something. And then I was like, I don't know if I really want to play this song on like a large speaker system, you know? So I do think in some way there's like some consequences in that term on it. So it's like sometimes good to listen to, but that's with most samples, it's like, it's also sometimes kind of funny to be a bit provocative with it, or like, for sure.
But it's also not just about like using the samples, but also like how do you contextualize the sample within your creation as well, right? Like how do it's not really in the document, it's more the approach to the document. That is very personal for every maker and for...
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much. It was very lovely to have you, and thanks for the private show.
No, thank you.